Hey guys, so we're doing a little bit of a different kind of video today. I wanted to do kind of like a first impressions but like throwback kind of video to this foundation, the Covergirl 3-in-1. This is a foundation that I used to absolutely love. It was like top 3 for me at one point, and I stopped using it because I realized that it was kind of like clinging onto my dry patches, even though it was really good for my oily skin. But back then I had not really been taking care of my skin, and I am more now. And by that I mean I discovered moisturizer. So I just wanted to see how this performs, and I thought I would record it. I haven't used this foundation in about 2 years. So it's going to be like a first impressions, but not really because it's a foundation that I've used before. But I remember it being comparable to the Revlon Color Stay foundation, or at least I thought so. I remember it being matte and like medium coverage. And on the back of the bottle, I have the shade 810 Classic Ivory. And the back of the bottle says all day flawless coverage, lasting power of a primer, coverage of a concealer, and blendability of a foundation into one, shine free. I put down a primer because I don't believe any foundation that says it can double up as a primer, but we will see about the rest of these claims.
That is the color. It's quite runny. I don't remember it being so runny.
This is what the foundation is looking like with one layer on. I didn't even color correct my under eyes because of the claims that it is also a concealer, and I think it gave pretty good coverage. Not full coverage, but like a solid medium. I am going to put concealer on under my eyes because these bags are horrible. But I will do the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. By the way, this video totally inspired by Tatela's 15 Days of Foundation. Alright, so this is my makeup look for the day. My makeup applied really smoothly on top of it. I have no complaints so far, so the check-in time for this is going to be... Alright, so it's currently 9:30 in the morning. We're going to get at least 12 hours of wear out of this foundation, and I'm going to try to update you guys while I'm on the go. I have class, and I have to go to work today, so it's going to be a busy day. The foundation is definitely going to be put to the test, and I will update you guys in a few hours. Alright, so it's been exactly 3 hours and it still looks perfect. I mean, I'm not getting oily. It usually takes me about like 5 or 6 hours before I start getting super oily. So we'll see how it holds up in a few more hours. I have no complaints so far. It looks beautiful, and my makeup on top looks really nice. There's no like separation or oiliness. It's not clinging to any of my dry patches like I remember it doing, which is great. I feel really awkward filming in public because it's not something that I'm used to doing, but I'm filming like in a single stall bathroom, so that makes it a little bit better. Alright, so my hair is a mess, but I'm back home. Obviously, you can see my couch. Excuse my voice, I am just getting over a cold, but it's 5:51, and I figured it was time for another check-in, and my skin looks pretty good still. I would say I'm getting a little bit oily in the crease of my nose, and it's kind of breaking up a little bit there, but honestly, that's pretty normal for me throughout the day, especially today because, as I said, I am getting over a cold, so I've been blowing my nose. Trying not to for the sake of this review, but I've been blowing my nose, and I feel like the foundation has really done well. My forehead really isn't oily. My nose is just a teensy bit oily, so I'm going to be using the e.l.f. blotting sheets just to see how much oil comes off, and also to see if the foundation comes off as well. Pretty much all of my foundations kind of rub off a little bit with the oil blotting sheets, but I know some people say that that doesn't happen to them, so we're gonna see now. Okay, there's really like not that much oil on it. From what I can see here, I don't think the foundation has really transferred onto the sheet. So this foundation has managed to keep me relatively matte for the last 8 hours, which is really good. I do also kind of credit this to the fact that it was kind of cold outside today. So definitely when it starts getting warmer, I'm going to get oilier. but I'm still really impressed because usually within like between 4 to 6 hours, I'm very oily around my nose. My forehead gets oily, but not as oily as my nose does. And like by the end of the night, I'm usually an oil slick on my forehead and my nose. So I'm gonna wear this for a few more hours. I have to admit, I'm pretty bad about taking off my makeup. I do take it off every day. Don't worry, I'm not that awful. But like oftentimes, I will not take off my makeup until right before I go to bed. And I don't go to bed until like 1 o'clock in the morning. But I think the final update will be at like 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish. So I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so it's 9:30, it's final check-in time, and I am really impressed. I'm in my bathroom looking in the mirror right now, and the only place where the foundation doesn't look perfect is on my nose. Again, that's because I'm getting over a cold, so I was blowing my nose all day, so I was expecting it to fade a little bit, and it did fade, and it did kind of break up a teensy bit on the crease of my nose where I get super oily, but I didn't get as oily as I usually get with this foundation. My forehead didn't even get oily all day today. The one thing I will say is that it's not the super full high coverage that it claims to be, because with one layer of this, I did see some redness from a little bit of my acne peeking through, so I did have to use a little bit of concealer in that area. But that's just because I don't personally like building up foundations. I like putting one solid layer of foundation on and then spot concealing where I need it, because I feel like putting 2 and 3 layers of foundation on is super cakey. But this is a really, really good medium coverage foundation. You could totally build it up to full if you wanted to. That's just not my thing. I don't like to layer foundation. But it is super lightweight on the skin. I was walking around all day today feeling like I had no makeup on because of this foundation. That's like the one fault of my Revlon Color Stay, is that it's not cakey, not in my opinion, but sometimes you can feel it on the skin, whereas this, I didn't feel anything on my face today. The only reason why I would prefer the Revlon Color Stay over this is because the Revlon Color Stay is what I would consider a full coverage foundation with one layer, whereas this one isn't. So yeah, this foundation is $12.99 at the drugstore, kind of pricey, but I did see, what's her YouTube name? Thrifty Beauty, say she got it for like 8 and change at her local drugstore, so I guess it depends on your area. So yeah, overall this foundation gets 4.5 out of 5 stars for me, just taking away half a star for the coverage thing. But I love it. I'm really glad that I picked this up again. It didn't sink into any of my fine lines. I'm only 21, so I don't have like crazy amounts of fine lines, but I do have some, and it didn't sink into any of them. It didn't cling to dry patches. It just wore beautifully. Now I'm gonna go take my makeup off and do a mask or something. But let me know if you guys want me to do more videos like this, where I do like a first impressions with a follow me around check-ins kind of thing, because I had a lot of fun filming this today, and I hope you guys had fun watching it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!